Peace. Make sure this cam's straight. Peace. Happy now, of course. Go too far in the future. Too far in the past. Right now. Let a few more people come in. I'm gonna speak on uniqueness. I've been catching the omens that now is the time to really, really pay attention to what's our strong points, like what we are truly unique in, like what we are truly unique in, like all the areas we are really strong in, which I mean, in essence, that's your uniqueness, the areas that you are strong in. Matter of fact, the word genius, activating your genes, you know what I'm saying? Certain genes that activate and create your genius. But it's been catching the omens. Matter of fact, when I think about watching the Brother Rich, matter of fact, shout out to Brother Rich and the Black Magic channel, Black Magic 363, if I ain't mistaken. Y'all definitely check out Brother Rich channel. But like where he spoke on, well, basically like his higher self, and got like he basically was asking himself like, like, man, like, why am I so good at asking questions? He was like, like basically with finding his sole purpose. Matter of fact, like with his channel, like, where he's good at interviewing people, dealing with spiritual information, but he was like, all through his life, growing up, just the omens always passing through his head of like, being good at asking questions, and why that thought always would pass his mind. And then seeing, later on, like, all right, reason why is because, that's part of his sole purpose. Like, that's something that he was uniquely good at, in order to fall into his sole purpose. That's part of his purpose, is being somebody who asks questions good, and interviewing people, like we all are, basically, we getting into our uniqueness, and basically we are all cells of one big body. And now we stepping out of the illusion of the ego and stepping into the purpose that we serve in the whole, in the whole body, So instead of a blood cell trying to be Denzel Washington, instead of a blood cell trying to be, what I'm saying, a water drop, or instead of a blood cell trying to be a sperm cell, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is self for itself, you know what I'm saying? And not just an identity, but it's true self, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on right now. We are part of a body. I always like to use the analogy Osmosis Jones. If y'all never watched that movie, definitely go check it out. It's an older movie where Chris Rock plays the voice. It's a cartoon movie, and Chris Rock plays the voice of this white blood cell who's policing the body of Bill Murray. Bill Murray is the other person in the movie, but it's basically like takes place in Bill Murray's body, and there's a certain little dis-ease that enters the body, and it shows how, he ate something, and, that go in, and then showing the whole process of the, that little dis-ease coming through the digestive system, and as they spraying the digestive system down, it slipped through and killed, the stuff in the stomach, and then, eventually start going all over the body. And his main job was, what the disease was trying to do, was get to like the brain stem to basically, in essence, kill the body, because that's how that virus, the virus was spread in essence. But back to, us being that body and us getting to our particular purpose. Like for myself, with my own uniqueness, like for myself, I saw like, man, I'm good at articulating myself well. Like I'm good at, learning about certain things and being able to share that information in a manner that where people could conceptualize and intellectualize it. Also, I got a good ability of bringing people together, like being that glue. And matter of fact, paying attention to the omens, the Papa Legba energy that I always gravitated towards, and always had omens that was just, connecting to that Papa Legba energy. That also adds to that fact, like, like bringing people together, the number three you know, it's about communication, the Papa Legba number, communication. And what Papa Legba does, he allows for communication between the quote unquote seen and unseen realms, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole vibe for myself. Not only in the exact literally like, you know, allowing to be that medium between the seen and unseen, but just in between, you know, people, because different people are different galaxies, like as above so below, like different people are different planets and galaxies. So when I'm out here connecting people, I'm connecting different planets, like I'm bringing universes together, you know. That's how I see it, you know, and that's what it is in essence, you know. But you know, bringing that ability to be glue, like, because matter of fact, another thing with my name Universal Frequencies, I saw also I could uniquely vibe with people without being inauthentic, you know what I'm saying? So like authentically I could kind of flow through all different parts of my being, you know, like without feeling extremely indifferent, you know what I'm saying? Now of course there's different timings for different situations. Like, of course, I could sit down and talk to this aspect of my reflection a certain amount of time longer than this one, or you know, this one may be shorter than this one, you know. But at the same time, just being able to connect with people in all different walks of life, I saw that, you know. And the thing is, right now, is for us to see all those things that we are extremely good at or unique at, you know, like matter of fact, everything runs smoothly in this department in our life. So whatever it is that's, you know, that you're great at or unique at, it's gonna be an area where you just always excel in, you know, or just always kind of notice like, bro, I'm great at doing this. And it could be some of the simplest thing, you know. Matter of fact, back to what I started off with, was speaking on how like Brother Rich saw how, you know, his question asking ability was, you know, on a high level, and someone would say, "Oh, that's something mundane or simple," and I mean, no, it's not, because I mean, you see what it turns into or translate into, you know, at least for, you know, Brother Rich within interviewing people, you know, and when you're able to ask questions at such a high level, that elevates, you know, the interview, and you get like more information out of the situation to answer a lot of more questions if you're asking the right questions within the, you know, those platforms. So that is a skill, you know. Any and all little things that you're uniquely good at is a skill set, regardless of uh how the world, or you know, just other views of it, you know. If you're good at it, you're good at it for a reason, you know. It's finding that purpose. Matter of fact, in a lot of cases too, other than just finding like something that you're uniquely good at, you know, also just falling into your soul purpose again, to be uh you know, something you love doing without receiving money, you know. Wolf Red, happy now. Mon- Montemaya, no problem with the Moldavite. That Moldavite very transformational. But where was I? Yeah, the thing that you truly, truly love, you'll be able to do it without receiving money. Like where you just step up to the plate on some, I'm like, money is the last thing on my mind, and I do this all day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where your purpose at. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that, again, you align with it so much where you're not even going out the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it aligns with your being and your uniqueness so much that, again, like, you love it so much. You know, it's like, oh, bro, you know, look, I'm good on the money, like, you know. And of course, you're gonna get compensated for your energy. That's if you're not blocking it all the way on some like, oh, I don't want to receive anything, you know. Which, you know, you gotta sustain yourself and take care of yourself. But yeah, for the most part, once you doing what you love, the money will follow. When you love what you do and you putting so much into it, you know, people is gonna feel that energy to where even if you don't ask for money, they gonna be like, well, look, even though you ain't asked, here this much amount of money, you know what I'm saying? Because what you do is good, you know, you do great work, you know what I'm saying? Like, the universe, your higher self, gonna find ways to let you know, like, hey, you should be compensated, you know your worth. Here, you know, here's some energy in the form of revenue, so you could buy food or take care of your hygiene and all these things to sustain your temple and make sure, the chi flow is up to par, taking care of yourself. But as I digress from this, just really realizing our unique the abilities and attributes and honing in on them, like really find out. And again, that's why for myself, why I take it serious to have my little alone time and be to myself so I could really see, like analyze. In fact, so being by myself, like when we talk about doing the inner work, going inside, that's what that, like being by myself and I'm allowed to see how my being is by itself, like not being influenced by others and stuff. So it's like going inward and seeing what's going on but that's basically the most of that part. Just wanted to let everyone know because I'm feeling the omens about it, like from coming across the subject with Brother Rich talking about it to myself, realizing my uniqueness and kind of honing in on it. It's like, that's why I've been at these videos like this, like with the live videos back. It's like, bro, that's your purpose. That's what you do. Like, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now is the vibrate, practice what you preach and do what you do. At the same time, it's a balance. I got to make sure I'm not just like, oh, let me just do a video because, I just got to do video. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, not like that. But at the same time, Doris Watson, blessings. First time. All right, welcome. Yeah, blessings. Hey, look, Doris, I just be keeping it real. It's either environment you're meant to be in or not. you know, can't promise anything on that level. All right, Jasmine, blessings from New Orleans. All right, from Canada, eh? Canada, eh? Little Canadian. Yep, bless y'all. Matter of fact, still a little bit. People still just starting to roll in. I forgot that, when you go live, just gotta sit on a bunch of people's YouTube, for a nice little while. Gotta warm up. It gotta sit there and marinate and allow people to, oh look, they got a live video going on, So I be forgetting about that sometimes. Yeah, Doris. Think about our higher self and the way our higher self talks to us. Like I don't want to be babyfied and want nobody to like tell me anything just to babyfy my ego or whatever. That's how I deliver information to others. I don't want to sugarcoat nothing. I want to let you know what's really real. Like the universe is, what's going on in our realms is like it's reality and it is what it is. Like to not speak on what's really going on a straight up level is like, it's like we're not honoring the reality of things. K9, Jersey, all right, blessings. Jersey. all right. Now I want to just get into general information, like with with the way things operate in the whole situation, like with us, why people trying to come at the pineal gland and like different things. So what I always think about is like one thing that gives a lot of insight, to like crystals and all this is when we realize that everything is vibrating. And if everything vibrating, if everything is vibrating, that means everything gives off a sound frequency. You know what I'm saying? And by giving off that sound frequency, in essence, too, other things are able to, interface with that vibration and pick up on that vibration as well. Like, so that's how the crystals work. The crystals, every cell within the crystal is vibrating, you know what I'm saying? And those vibrations, and then too, what adds to that is a crystal has a particular molecular structure, a certain lattice, what they call, there's a certain geometric structure to the atom and the molecule that, has a unique vibration, because even shapes have a vibration. Like like the cube gives off a foundational earthy vibration. You know what I'm saying? So crystals with a crystal lattice that's shaped like a cube gonna have like a grounding vibe to, like a pyrite. Pyrite in some cases be shaped exactly. Matter of fact, this is one where it's like almost like a bunch of little like I said, a bunch of little cubes, within it. But and vibration precedes manifestation. So a vibration comes first, then manifestation. So we could look at, the crystal lattice. So like, that the molecular structure is a vibration first and foremost. It's just a vibration in the ethers, and then matter forms around it, in that shape, and that's where then you get the crystals. But at first it's basically like in essence, just a vibration, a vibration of a crystal lattice, first and foremost, and then it turns into a crystal. Oh, got the synchronicity with the time. All right, Syria, New Orleans. And matter of fact, shout out to the NO people. Matter of fact, 'cause that's one thing I was just thinking about. I want to soon possibly go back home, like to do some work, like, and so I want to start contacting people back in Louisiana, and like to see what type of events they got going on, stuff like that. Go back and do some type of little workshops and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. Can I talk more about black tourmaline? I didn't even start talking about black tourmaline in this video. How could I talk more about it? I'm gonna be facetiously real like that, y'all. Y'all gotta y'all gotta be able to deal with me. That pyrite is a great crystal. And I'm gonna get back to some of these questions, of course. Some of them. It all depends on the relevance of it, because I have to remember that I'm doing a video. This video is being replayed so other people could sit and watch it. And with a certain subject, I just don't want to, because I have to catch myself. I'll be going way left field. As a matter of fact, keep that in mind, y'all. Like, I don't know if the title shows when y'all come to this video, but you might want to ask questions along the lines of the title of the video or something of that nature. Which again, is a free will universe. Ask whatever type of question you want. Look, I keep it funky. Like, at the end of the day, it's a free will universe, and you can ask whatever question you want. But if you're looking for it to get acknowledged, that's a whole different story. But yeah, dealing with the crystal, so the vibration proceeds first, and then when you get to the Dr. Emoto teachings, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, the Dr. Emoto teachings, and then cymatics. Cymatics is the study of how sound frequency creates certain shapes. And matter of fact, if you never checked it out, go check out Michael Tellinger. Michael Tellinger, he got an older video where he shows how they got this little ball in a little box, and he plays certain sound frequencies. And the first sound frequencies make, because when a sound frequency, depending on the vibration of it, it could be strong enough to move things, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I tell people again, like, where a sound vibration moves without you being able to see it, just like with our cell phones, just like with our own telepathy, like, like we're communicating between each other and you can't really see it, because you know the vibration is subtle to the eyes, you know, but it is definitely moving, and that crystals are vibrating on a certain frequency, and that vibration is moving through the skin. So if we wonder why we don't have to like eat the crystal, like why I don't have to put it in, well, because it, you know, the vibration of it is connecting with you regardless from the outside of you on a quantum level, you know. And I'm gonna kind of dip into the quantum, you know, with the string theory, you know, with electrons. But back to the somatics and Michael Tellinger, you know, where it saw frequency could move things, and then when he brought in a frequency from another angle, it basically the first frequency coming from up under the ball made it float, and then the other one made it spin. So it basically showed you how frequency could put, you know, whether this Earth is flat or not, but just how frequency could put a, you know, something into orbit and into a certain little spin, you know. Because honestly, too, sound frequency is like how they cut the blocks for the pyramids. You know, if I finally send a sound frequency, you know, sharply, but I concentrate it like a laser, you know, because you got the laser technology, picture the laser technology applied to sound. Where like I concentrate a sound vibration and frequency in a, you know, in a sharp line, you know, that's gonna cut through things, you know what I'm saying? Or like sound frequency could also be used for hoverboards. I'm sorry, because matter of fact, magnets could be used as well. Like if you, how can I say, which I don't know how that would do, but like say for instance when a magnet, so like this magnet won't come together, you know, because when it's opposing sides, it's like almost like, so say if I kept it like this, it would just kind of float right here. But also, besides the magnets, again, you know, a sound frequency could play out the bottom of something, and it could be so strong that it could push, you know, whatever it is up, you know, push a hoverboard up on that type of level. So, you know, you see the sound frequencies operate, you know, in where if they're strong enough, they could also be physical, where you could actually feel them on a physical level. Just like I use the example when somebody passed through, got the, you know, they got the 808s, you know, they got the bass bumping in the trunk, you know, when they pass through. Matter of fact, like that, like the always shout out to youngster, you know, beating down your block, knock your pictures off your wall. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come through with the bang in the trunk, and it could make a glass fall down in your house. And even though in between that car outside and your house there's nothing connected, or between, you know, that car, the noise and the car outside and something that falls in your house, there's no connection. But again, that vibration moves through, and nothing, you know, as much as matter may appear solid, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's basically 99.9% dark matter, you know what I'm saying, or emptiness. You know, this reality is, you know, is a marriage in duality in essence, you know, which we're trying to move to. We're trying to move to a place where the duality is married, where it's just one, you know, where, you know, it's just two sides of that one coin, and not like, hey, I'm over here against this, you know, energy, and I'm over here against this energy, you know, because also everything is moving, and in some cases not moving at the same time. Like say for instance, everything is constantly vibrating at all times. But then when, in essence, when you look at the ground, say for instance, does the ground seem to be moving? No, but it is vibrating. So technically it is moving, you know, moving and not moving at the same time. You know, it's the paradox of this universe. You know, and again, vibrations, you know, they reach out, and back to the Dr. Emoto. Dr. Emoto, if you go look him up, he's the one who studied how water picks up on sound vibrations. So if I'm a being that's made up of over 70% water, that means I got a lot of electrical conductivity abilities within me, you know, because the water picks up on electricity, and you see how the water and the copper within your body, you know, allows for that connection. Why you think, you know, we deal with copper on our bodies, or like when we connecting with ancestors, we leave a little cup of water out, you know what I'm saying? It's for that, you know, electrical surges through that copper and that water, you know what I'm saying, for us to communicate. When I do, oh, 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 oh that's resonating through, from my feet, through the water in my body. So the water in my body just raised up in vibration from me doing that ohm noise. You know, it's stuff as simple as that. Like, and that's where words come into play as well. Because even though, say for instance, when we programming out, that's why it's no black and white. Because words may not program the subconscious good, but words do program water. You know what I'm saying? Like the intent of words. Well, water is, a real thing. So, what you saying to yourself or what's being said around you, all that, the water in your body is picking up on them vibrations that's around so you basically a walking water bag in essence, in that, in that essence. So you picking up on all these different vibrations, and they get locked into shape, and into your being, and you carrying that vibration. Blessings, y'all. Blessings. Lapis Lazuli. I know. Jasmine, again, I was being is a facetious and real at the same time. Like, of course, it's a crystal. It's cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with what you asked. I brought up pyrite for a brief moment, but I'm not getting too deep into crystals as far as like just answering general questions about crystals in this video. But in which I'm so open-minded and I do my best. Well, if I could do it without deterring the subject matter of this video, because I done did it before, so it's not like, oh, I gotta do it by the book, because I always, nah, sometimes I do switch things up, so I might talk about crystals a little bit. Matter of fact, for y'all people new to me, man, and when you're new to anybody, man, you gotta really learn people or find out about, people. Like, just how some of us may watch a video and try to take this sound bite of how this human should be, you know what I'm saying? It's like a person is more than just one interaction with that person, just speaking in general. We gotta watch how we, like, say for instance, watching somebody on their YouTube channel, and just thinking, of course, like a bunch of videos will give you a gist, but like, we watch one or two videos and we think like, oh, this person thinks like this. But no, you never saw the video where so-and-so spoke about how they don't think like what you just made the assumption about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be careful with that. Yeah. Do you have any book recommendations for the beginning of the occult, particular African occult practices? Not that I could think of right off the bat. Because for me, like, I'm trying to think. I know the ancient knowledge of the flower of life. I think that's the name of the book, by Drunvalo Melchizedek. That's a great book, and the brethren does tap in a little bit into the Kemetic information within there. Of course, he is a European brethren, but that information is Kemetic and ancient nonetheless. So, and it's deep. It goes into the actual sciences and the mathematics of the situation as well. So it definitely goes in on that part. But yeah, the mantras again, word vibrations, and the affirmations may not work easily on the subconscious, but at the same time they definitely work on the water within the body. That lum, yup, the different little noises, lum, rum, yum, Yep. I had a little app with all of I used to go through them. In fact, definitely, because I'm not dealing with any of the apps right now, but definitely hit up the little app stores for these little meditative, whether it's binaural beats or little chakra meditations. And I tell people, vibe with whichever app or whatever, resonates with you, and you feel it out through your intuition, because it is a chance that, some of these people that's making these apps and these beats got these frequencies that's like not really in tune to the, to the true energy. So I would just tell people, just make sure you deal with it on a, make sure it's resonating with you, like you really feeling it. Or if you feel funny about it, then stop listening to it. You know? Yeah, that own vibration definitely coming in strong. Matter of fact, the ohm, and speaking of the ohm, so back to the cymatics of the situation, or with Dr. Emoto, learning how vibrations, affect water. We made out of water. The Sri Yantra, and I don't have no picture of it, but the Sri Yantra, it's like a bunch of upside down triangles, right side up triangles, kind of boxed in, but it's basically like a certain symbol. And matter of fact, that actually connects our subconscious, to the higher planes, just by looking at it, because our subconscious don't deal with words in essence. Of course it'll deal with it indirectly, because we've been dealing with it for the last few 2,000 years of our existence. So of course it's there, but it's about the symbols. But like basically, I forgot what's the name of this machine. I want to say a sonogram, but don't quote me on that. But it's some type of machine, that picks up. So basically, it's like a machine that deals with cymatics, but basically where the ohm vibration creates the Sri Yantra symbol. You know what I'm saying? So when we doing the ohm, that Sri Yantra symbol is created within the energies. And matter of fact, I always feel like it's definitely like a vortex, or like a certain type of field that's like right with a pineal gland, that I envision like I don't know, it's like a 5-dimensional field that's shaped like the Sri Yantra, that's like in my pineal gland, that I always envision, because I envision that symbol like a portal for things, to come in and out. But that's just me and my own little insights. And again, with the cymatics, they also with Michael Tellinger, seeing that they had like these certain frequency, so these little areas in South Africa that seemed like sound frequency was coming out of the ground, and it was so they were saying that these were the frequencies, or the areas where which is a personification of like where they were sending the gold up to the Anunnaki, but that's also the gold and all that, also, or the manna, personification of the energies in the body, Christ seed rising up, but yeah, that's another thing dealing with the cymatics. And cymatics is spelled CYMATIC, for those that want to tap into that energy. And then also you got the the electron, the string theory, and this also speaks to how everything vibrates, and how everything has that 99.9% of nothingness in it. So basically it's that potential until you give it focus. So basically what the electron string theory in essence proves is that when we give focus to something, that's what creates. So in essence, they was running electrons through this little, slit, and they realized that whenever they were observing the experiment, the electron was, going through the little holes or whatever. They had like a little hole passing electrons through, and whenever they weren't observing, basically it showed that the electron, whenever they looked at the information, it showed that the electron passed through the hole and didn't pass through the hole all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what was going on, but what it was showing, that basically whenever you're not observing, the electron is, back to that potential being anything and everything and everywhere, until you put your attention on it and focus in on it, and then it turns to, something that's material. That's the whole situation. Like by us focusing on something, that's where it manifests. And the electron strength theory, speaks to that, on a quantum level. Like, well, how I could just focus on things, and well, there's an experiment that shows that, when a person was looking at the experiment, that their focus and their thoughts, changed the way the experiment was going. But when they stopped observing, it went a whole different, on a whole different vibe, a whole different way. According to the plug, what are every time everyone starts yeah, it's I mean, when you think about practicing something that's non-African, just as long as it's pro truth and facts, you know what I'm saying? Because in most cases, a lot of stuff comes from the ancient mystery schools, and from Kemet even back to Atlantis and Lemuria, you know what I'm saying? It's about seeking reality and truth, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people cut themselves off, like, say, if you're a white person that feel like, oh, I couldn't get no information from a black person, or if you're a black person feeling like I can't get no information from a white person. As above, so below. You're being God, so how God is everything, you're basically being God and saying, well, I'm this part of myself, but I'm not messing with the other part. Even though this other part of me is real and factual and exists, I'm gonna choose to ignore that part of me, just cause that's where your ego starts to stop you from becoming God. You realize, like, your pettiness and your ego keeps you from being a God, in essence, or being, one with source, on that level. Like, you're gonna be stuck in your humanity because you do human shit. That's petty. That's petty human shit to say, I'm not gonna read a book because Aleister Crowley wrote it, and Aleister Crowley is the grandfather of George Bush, and George Bush is this or that. Bro, don't you realize you're in the matrix of where everything is you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where that separation, where we start to see the levels of our spiritual growth, where I no longer give credence to, like, those type of vibes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's like I'm a God returned. Like, I'm source back here experiencing itself, and I'm everything. I'm the Illuminati and the indigenous people. I'm all of it, and that's just what I feel, because I done tapped into that fullness of being, you know what I'm saying? So it resonates with me. As much as somebody could probably feel like I'm being, fake, or just trying to be nice, like, that's on them, because they can't, they don't know the realm I'm tapped into. Like a crackhead can't fathom how somebody could be sober. You know what I'm saying? At point blank, when somebody on a different level, they could only perceive it from that level they're on. Like, when I was drinking 40 ounces, I couldn't perceive being on this level that I'm on right now. I was too far. I wasn't even introduced to being like this, so I couldn't even have knowledge of how to operate, or if it was right or wrong to be like this, because I didn't, I was on a whole nother level. But yeah, man, blessings. Root chakra, sacral chakra. I'm trying to think. I am courageous. I am balancing my emotions. That just came to mind, when I saw that Kenshin about the root chakra and sacral chakra affirmations. I am courageous, and I am balancing my emotions. I am courageous for the root chakra. I am balancing my emotions for the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra, half of, the symbol of it, half of a moon. Emotions. That's why, and emotions, is the female sexual center, and that's why the females, sexually, they're a little tied to their emotions more than the male, because the male is root chakra, more primitive, more physical nature. The female sexual nature is in the highest chakra in essence. Checking out the vibes. Different uniqueness, like that's the thing too though. People want to be like, it's a balance. We're not allowed to be lazy on any side of this. So like, say for instance, we all are interconnected, but that's also not for us to be lazy and say, like, yeah, we're all one, and we all gotta love each other, and like, of course, love each other, but like, we all gotta be the same and act, like, kind of deal with each other in that same, like, it doesn't mean that either, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all are one, but uniquely different parts of one whole, you know what I'm saying? I always use the analogy of the body. The body has, you have so many different operating systems, like a computer, as above so below. You got so many different operating systems within your body, within your mainframe, uh, but yet they all work together as one. You know what I'm saying? I got all kind of different things, going on within this body, but they, for whatever it's worth, all those different aspects find a way, all those unique aspects within the body find a way to come together to make things happen, you know. And it may not be, they may not be singing Kumbaya, my Lord, and holding hands, but they definitely got an unconditional love and an understanding of like, hey, in order for us to operate and live fully, and enjoy things, we got to keep this big, this big thing called universal frequencies. We got to keep this going, you know what I'm saying? So this means we got to put aside our egos, uh, red blood cell, you over there repped out as a red blood cell, you got to put away your ego. White blood cell over there repped out on your, and you got to put down, and take care of your tasks in this body. And so what? Whatever your task is, no matter how glorious it may seem or how unglorious your task may seem, your task is your task in essence. It is what it is. But then also, when talking about sounds and vibrations, and light, in essence, that's what light is basically like light in essence. You could say is a sound frequency or vibration, vibration, sound, light, it all turns in, which I forgot which one comes first. I think it's the sound, then the light. But, the different colors have, carry a certain vibration as well. And you see all these things, with a person knowing that you're made up of water and that the water in your body picks up on vibration. So you see like why the promotion of the McDonald's and the Wi-Fi and the pharmacies and, the promotion of the educational system to keep you boxed in and, close your pineal gland and have your pineal calcified to where you become a worker. That's basically the whole gist of what they're doing, And even now, even in the health food situation where they still kind of like, playing the game, Like, oh, this is natural and this is healthy, but it's some bread or something that's full of carbs or full of something that's acidic. And in essence, not really good for you. So of course it's not meat, but it's still like in essence acidic for your body, Yep, seem, commit, the breath. The breath, connection, disconnect. I think I made a video about that. How the breath connects you regardless, if that makes sense. Like I could be connected, like I breathe right now, and I'm connected to this, physical aspect of this realm. Or I could stop breathing and connect with and connect back with the non-physical part of me. And the breath is a connection regardless, on that level. And you see, that's the thing too. Like I'm gonna be open minded. I ain't gonna say, well, no, that seems kind of dark, so I'm not gonna mention that. Or that seems like, nah, that's the reality of the situation. The breath connects you. And say, for instance, people claim that, oh, I want to go back to source. I want to be back non-physical. Well, the breath that would connect you back to the non-physical right now is not breathing at all, and breathing. Both of them. The paradox of the universe. Like breathing connection, in essence, and not breathing connection. Beautiful paradox, man. Oh man. Just checking out a few the chat room vibes. Matter of fact, and just a heads up, y'all, which is cool, because I don't know how the donations go with the super chat or whatever, but I would much rather the donations flow to my PayPal link, because I forgot that that super chat stuff, it like sends it to AdSense, and it takes so much of a percentage out and all that other stuff, and it's like, nah, I rather the donation come straightforward. But that's basically it, just and I say basically it, but digressing from the vibe, talking about the vibration with the water, but it's all big, one big body, one big system, and as above, so below. Outside of me is one big system, and outside of it is one big system. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a hierarchy, as above, so below. Oh, JB, yeah, to take 50%. Yeah, look, I definitely would much rather. Matter of fact, the PayPal links is under most of my videos, are in the top left corner. If you're on the YouTube desktop, top left corner, have a little PayPal icon. I book on it, but like I would have $84,000 if I got $1 from everybody that watched that pineal gland video. Yeah, man, appreciate y'all vibes, man. Appreciate the love. You know what? That's basically, just speaking on the vibrations. Matter of fact, and speaking of water, that's why the fruits, it's good for us bringing in, you're bringing in water that resonates with earth vibrate, like basically, plants always grounded and connected. And when you're dealing with fruits, and most fruits contain, water, in essence, a high percentage of water. Not only you taking in more water, because again, as a matter of fact, that's where a lot of the sickness come from. That's where a lot of the sickness come from, is the fact that everybody's been duped. Not only are you taking all these prescription pills that's killing you, but so the foods we eat, like, people, please realize that if your food don't contain water, you're drying yourself up, and in most cases you're not giving yourself nutrient. food should contain water. That's a lot of reasons. Like the lack of water is the problem for most of like disease in the body. You know, 'cause there it is. You eating all this bread, all this dry stuff. And the body, like, bro, where in the fuck is the water? You know, like, all right, well, damn, like basically, I'm gonna poke at you and make you more hungry again. And hopefully, when, you know, as you get the munchies this time, you'll eat the right thing, and then you get the munchies and then eat some more dry shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you turn around and you like 200, 300 pounds, you know, mad at the world, wanting to, you know, harm yourself because you know, fell victim. And then it's not, again, it's not to look down at yourself or anything if you have fallen into this position, but it's to realize, you know, again, first you gotta acknowledge the problem, realize it in order to fix it and grow from it. You know, but once you get to that place of realize, like, all right, now I need to start eating things with more water in it and drinking more water, because again, the brain has electricity running through it. You know what I'm saying? And the brain is like, you know, made up of the brain itself is made up of like 70% water, or you know, or 70% or more. So, you know, you need to pump that water in order for those, you know, these electrical surges, these downloads from the ancestors, in order for them to move and, you know, for you to hear them loud and clear. You know, you got to have some water up there, you know what I'm saying? Or water head. Like literally, you know what I'm saying? You got to have some water up there in order for those electrical synapses to have a medium to flow through, you know what I'm saying? Because in essence, water is a medium. That's why we mostly made out of water, because we are a medium for energy and for information in essence, you know what I'm saying? That's why media is called, you know, media, because it's like a medium, you know what I'm saying? The transfer of information, you know, something happened over here and it's in the middle transferring the information to the people. So the event happened and the media or the medium transfer that information to the people. So it's in between the situation that happened and telling and the people, you know, like giving that information to the people. Papa Legba, in between, you know, the unseen realm, delivering the message to the seen realm, or vice versa, you know, delivering the message from the seen realm to the unseen realm, you know, and being in between again, like that glue, because this person over here is vibrating too much in their frequency to tap into this other side, and this other frequency, you know, so high to where, you know, it can't tap. But then, you know, they got these, you know, certain beings that how can I say, pertain a particular gift to vibrate with, you know, blending, you know, two realms, you know, and reason why you have to be strong for that, because it does take a lot to balance out two vibes on a strong level like that, you know. Y'all excuse me. Like, you don't even really eat a fig, like you just like suck it out of the skin. Like pop. Every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, eating all the food, all the pig feet, all the hog maw, all the collard green. I want some of them chitlins. I eat pig feet. I ain't watched Friday in so long, man. Crazy classic. You know, lesson to show you how you don't know, like how a situation, you know, just putting forth, you know, stuff like, well, you know, a lot of people don't know, like, where that movie where the actors barely got paid for that movie in essence, you know. Ice Cube wasn't on no Jack stuff, but it basically like well, like they put the movie out there, and then instead of like completely holding on to the name of it or whatever, Ice Cube let one of the cinemas hold on to the project or sign it off to them, so they got the back end revenue that came after the movie came out, you know. So they only so the people probably only got a little bit of upfront money. But you see how that classic, you know, It was like, hey, for the good of the people, you know what I'm saying? They might have not, they probably got their compensation through other things later on in life, because they definitely gave us a nice little movie with Friday. I ain't saying Friday enlighten people, change the world on that level, but laughing is good for the soul. And Friday definitely brings forth a good laugh. Yep. Draining the energies. Yeah, them Black Mission figs definitely be on point. Oh, thanks for the donation, complicated. Appreciate that. JB me, of course, yep. Appreciate that. But yeah, matter of fact, because I did what I knew I probably was gonna do. You know, let's see, Miss Jasmine. I remember you said something about black tourmaline. You know what? I kind of remember. Look. Oh, you just wanted to talk more about, but just a little brief, because I'm not gonna go just straight up. Black tourmaline, for one, is one of the best crystals for protecting yourself from negativity. I feel like, other than black kyanite, it holds a high vibration, you know, with the protection from negativity. So it's not like, of course, you're getting grounded energy, but it's more so off of the color and its connection to earth than it being like a crystal that's just really vibing at a low frequency, so it grounds you. You know, like, nah, black tourmaline is very strong with the protecting from negativity, and it's piezoelectric, so you could feel a nice electrical surge through it. Matter of fact, it's great in the form of tourmalated quartz. Like, if you could find the quartz with tourmaline inclusions in it, that's a great crystal for protection from negativity. That in combination with selenite, that'll have your house on woo woo, whatever that noise means. Have your house on that, you know what I'm saying, or whatever area, you know, you're protecting from negativity, you know. But that black tourmaline, you know, because matter of fact, whenever using quartz, that's the thing too, like, hopping the quartz right quick, like, quartz is cool definitely whenever using it with other crystals, you know, like, so it'll amplify the effects of other crystals. Matter of fact, I know I spoke to this a little bit in an older video, but I need to stop doing that. like if you're trying to find out the energies of a certain crystal, like it's a new crystal you just bought, or you know, an old crystal you're dealing with, but whatever the case may be, if you're trying to, you know, either find out the uniqueness of this certain crystal more, like, use it with quartz. So quartz will amplify that energy, so you could really see and feel like the energies from that crystal. Because of course, quartz to a certain extent has its own energies, but for the most part, it's a strong amplifier, and it's going to amplify, you know, the energies of that other crystal as well. Matter of fact, quartz and tourmaline again is, you know, very powerful combination with keeping that negative vibes out. I'm not black tourmaline with Mika. You know, I'm not too familiar with the Mika vibration, except for being something that would be calming and soothing, and like, because Mika kind of related to lepidolite, so it kind of got that little vibe of you know, like how lepidolite calms anxiety and stuff like that. It would kind of be, you know, dealing with that energy. Yes, they do have fake crystals. I mean, in essence, I consider goldstone a fake crystal, even though it's sold as a crystal. You know, goldstone is basically glass, melted down with little chips of copper in it, you know. You know. Yeah, they got the I mean, by fake citrine, you mean the heat-treated citrine. You know, I don't necessarily call it fake, you know, because it's just heat-treated, so it's modified. But, you know, I consider fake isn't fake. Like, this shit is nothing of what it is broadcasted to be. Like those little malachite bracelets, like those little bead, like whenever you got like one of those little 7 chakra, whether it be little necklaces or bracelets, and if they try to do malachite like that, most of the time that'd be some fake malachite. Like just all the way, like there's not a pinch of copper and realness in it. All right, and I do have a video on shungite, so definitely go check that out, Regina Moser. But shungite is one of the greatest crystals for expanding the auric field's protection level. So your protection and your auric field is expanded outward. You know what I'm saying? So your protective field is kind of expanded, and it also you know, it's not spoken on a lot, but like shungite aligns the chakras. A lot of the reason why it's able to fortify your auric field like that is because it's aligning the chakras. And I had a book that showed how it would align the chakras and stuff like that. And with dealing with shungite, you want to deal with elite shungite too. Of course, shungite in general would be good, but elite shungite is 98% carbon. And it has a very, very extremely high detoxifying energy with it, you know. Matter of fact, again, go check out my videos I got on it where I speak on the detoxifying, taking a bath with shungite and the drinking water, you know, but very good for detoxifying. Matter of fact, you know, you think about it, as above, so below, you know, it's closely related to carbon. You know, that carbon energy is what you know, creates that connection in essence. Like the carbon or the you know, carbon, some people call it melanin or whatever, but that's the connection to, you know, to the universe in essence, you know. And then you look at the fact of basically a diamond being compressed carbon in essence, you know. I mean, you got to do your research. It's a mixture of everything. You could tell a crystal is fake through, you know, doing your research, you know, find out about hardness testing. You know, crystals have a certain hardness to it, you know, which I think I might have a rundown fully on the different things, but, you know, like just getting the information on how they look, how they shape, you know, the hardness of it. Getting yourself to a place of dealing with your intuition and being sensitive to energies, be able to feel like, you know, trusting your intuition, using a pendulum and asking whether it's real or not. You know what I'm saying? I think I got a video on how to use a pendulum, you know. Like that would be the vibe to, you know, finding out if your crystal is false or not. And yeah, I mean, sometimes not being able to feel the energy, again, that's kind of more so on our own disconnectedness, because the energy is there to be felt, you know. It's giving off a vibe or lack thereof. And if it's a lack thereof vibe, that means you shouldn't deal with, you know what I'm saying? If it's not vibrating that much, then that means not to go with that crystal, you know. All right, oh, cool. All right, blessing. Shout out to Mr. Carr Fresco. I definitely dealt with a lot of his videos on my growth. And every now and then, like, I'm a person where I like to always, you know, if something intriguing or something somebody talking about, like, we are reflections of each other. I never feel like I could not listen to somebody else talk on something, just as long as in the lines of where I could feel that I'm gonna learn from the situation. I'm not gonna like gravitate towards something where I could feel like, all right, this person is basically doing the same thing I do, you know, like, well, they're gonna speak on some information that I know already and speak on it in a way that's just coming from them, you know. compared to like a different insight or something where I could really get an aha moment from where they got like their own unique perspective, you know. Yeah. So where was I? Yes, you do have the what it is, yeah, the amethyst heat treated citrine, you do. But you also have like citrine in essence that's heat treated. Like I've seen where it has like a dull yellow vibe to it in essence. Can't really explain it. And two, the earth naturally creates some of this heat treatment as well too. Like you got man-made heat treating, then you got like where the earth, you know, actually has a magma line that passes by a thing of amethyst, you know, and it'll change colors, you know, while in the earth as well, you know. So that's definitely something. How does the crystal work if you take it out of the environment? The same way you work whenever you're out of your environment. Your vibration goes along with you wherever you go. You're not still a part of your mama womb or in your mama's womb, but you're still giving off a vibration. You know, you're not still attached to, you know, the source vibration as a whole, but you still carry a vibration. You know, as above, so below. You know, if I take a crystal away from another, you know, it's still. Matter of fact, even to the point where crystals grow like us in essence. Like, you know, like this is a phantom quartz where, you know, inside of it you could see where it had a point already, and then it grew further. You know, but you know the vibration is within. You know, within the crystal. So no matter if you take it away from the geode or the area it's in, then it's going to, matter of fact, just like how, all right, as above, so below, just like, well, I carry the vibration of Louisiana and Opelousas everywhere I go, you know, as above, so below, like I carry the vibration of where I was rooted from, you know what I'm saying? Like, so where I was rooted from, that's the vibration that, you know, that I embody in essence. That vibration goes with me. How does food and people act out of it? How does the fruit and people act out of these natural environments? I don't really get that one. It seemed like it's saucy too. I wanna like that's funny how the intuition, like, I don't know. I wanna answer that. Like I'm not really understanding the question, but like it seemed like a good one. How do you operate in our full potential out of natural environment as blacks? You vibrate to your fullest potential by realizing you're more than a black person, that you're not just a black person. Reason why people dealing with struggles and dealing with a lot of stuff is because they putting themselves into a certain construct and taking on struggle. What we focus on grows. Our mind creates everything. If you feel like, hey, I'm black and they shooting us and this and that, then yes, you are black and you getting shot at and you dealing with these struggles, you know what I'm saying? Because you're choosing to put yourself into that construct and identify with that instead of identifying with your God self. But you know, aren't we in our human bodies? Yes, you are here in your human body and resonating on a physical level, but it's not to identify with your human body to the point of where you feel like all you are is your human body. You know, it's just like the drop of water that that's falling you know, from the waterfall, and that drop of water, like think like, oh, I'm, you know, I'm a drop of water. I'm myself, and I'm by myself. You know, like it's like because you're under the illusion that you're by yourself. You also, that's what a reincarnation situation. Like, well, all right, you're under the illusion that you are a human being. Then, you know, then that's where you know, your subconscious get programmed into that. And your subconscious, it follows us. That's our soul consciousness in essence. So, you know, by feeling like you're a human and locking yourself into that, you know, you're lowering your potential of your existence in essence. So back to answering it, you know what I'm saying? You're locking yourself into a certain construct. And so you basically, uh you're putting limits, like your ego having an identity is putting limits on something that's infinite, you know? Like, we are infinite. We are infinite beings on a human experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the paradox of balance, like balancing both, you know, being in your physical existence while being connected to higher self, you know. And I always tell people too, to get this in perspective, like with melanated people, and you know, the culture and roots, like when you're first waking it up, say for instance, especially like me coming from Louisiana where we taught all that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, when you first awakening, you know, if you don't know what your roots is, then you don't know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you got to get your roots information. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, to even put it more in perspective, even white people do. You know what I'm saying? Like even, you know, Europeans. Like when you look at Vatican and how they got all these African sculptures, and some of the big best museums around the world got nothing but this literature and, you know, African stuff, is because, you know, them embracing the root, but in a dysfunctional manner. But nonetheless, you know, it's still that idea. But you know, of course, you get your roots, you get that rooted information, find out where you come from. The Dogon tribe, you know, Kemet, the Hindu Kush Valley, Angkor Wat, you know, Atlantis, Lemuria. You know, you get this information, and now I know what I am. You know, I know that I'm more than just this identity. You know, now that I know about these identities, I know that I am more than these identities. That's the irony of that. Like, I find out about these little earthly identities of my roots, just to step into a place of knowing that I am more than those identities. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we try to be lazy about our growth and like feel like, all right, well, it's just about learning about your roots, and then we just rest there. Like, all right, all about just learning about this kind of information, and that's it. You know. Now, which to each his own. We all have our unique way of, you know, being. You know what I'm saying? So some of us are meant to expand more than others. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are only meant to expand so much. You know, like some of us are really meant to be the walking embodiment of God. Some people are more so meant to be, uh, you know, more human in their vibe. Saying like more of a spiritual human than a God like being that's on a human experience. You know, and neither one is good or bad. I'm not trying to make it. You know, if you're like whatever, you know, we all different. And because there's different tests that come with all this. So as much as we would like to say, oh yeah, I'm bigger and better because I'm a God like being, you know, it's still a lesson of learning that comes with that. It's still a lesson of going through stuff, you know. So you know, in essence, we all in the same boat, even when being on different levels, if that makes sense, you know, because we're all constantly growing and learning. So regardless of, you know, what level you may be on or whatever the case may be. But yeah, operating to your full potential is realizing that you are a source on the human experience. You know, when a lot of people talk from these places are identifying with these human constructs, you know, you find that it has like a, you know, like a lower vibration to it. You know, like that's the reason in essence. No, I mean, now with that's a good question though. Like the way you because that's something that's legitimate. Like, so Tyler, with the, doing using the cellular devices with crystals, like the crystals actually protect you from the radiation of the cellular devices. Now, at one time, I was kind of feeling, I was kind of skeptical of like working with quartz. Around 'cause I'm thinking like quartz is going to amplify the negativity, the negative energies in essence from the, from the cell phones and stuff like that. But for the most part, I find that the reason why I'm able to sit in these Starbucks and these little coffee shops and all these different places for so long is because I'm sitting there with my crystals, with my selenite, wearing my shungite, having these crystals that protect from negativity. Matter of fact, shungite, smoky quartz, amazonite. That's just a few that come to mind when thinking about protecting yourself from the electromagnetic smog. Yep. Energy cell clean. Hey, and thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for for one, the way y'all interact with each other in the chat room, man. Blessings. And for the people who those reflections that we all be helping each other, man. And shout out to reflections that letting people, hey, press the like button, and here, this the link to buy a jury, this the link to donate. Like, what, I go to look down, I see a question, but then as I scroll down, somebody done answered that question for that so shout out, kudos, man, to that whole vibe, man. Blessings. I'm grateful for that. That is a connection that shouldn't be taken for granted in essence. As a matter of fact, I forgot that, like, well, I will always say that word wrong, I think, like granted or granted. I forgot how to actually, just saying these little phrases, going with the flow. Yeah. About it. And the reason why I ignore some of y'all questions is because again, some things I just rather not go all the way back in on. I try to have different material in different aspects. That's why, like, I got over 800 videos, so I try to make each one of them uniquely different. Where if I will expand on the same information, it's gonna be because I got a new way of looking at it or dealing with it. So I saw a question about hematite and a few other crystals, but like, I got like videos of just going in on it, and yeah. That part. But that's basically it. Again, where I started this video off, not staying true, really honing in on our uniqueness, like really finding out and looking at the things that you've been great at. And sometimes these things that we're great at, our ego may not like it, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like my story about how, like, growing up as a little kid, like my little ego as a little kid didn't like being a master of ceremonies for all the little plays at school, but my higher self was preparing me for something better and greater, and showing me too that was a particular, because I am great at talking to people. So the universe was like, hey, bro, look, you great at this shit, and you made yourself great at this, you know what I'm saying? This is your higher self just trying to help you to remember that you set yourself up for this glory, in essence. I'm not from New Orleans. New Orleans is not the only place in Louisiana. I'm from the big city of Opelousas. Get it right. Nah, much respect. I'm not from the New Orleans. A lot of my family members on my father's side is from New Orleans. So Haynes and the Williams, Ninth Ward area. That's where a lot of, in fact, any folk in New Orleans who last name Haynes and got a nose like this, big wide nose, dark skinned and tall. That's my grandfather vibe. Cause that's what, matter of fact, my family on the funeral home. They moved from New Orleans. Like my great grandmother moved the business from New Orleans to Opelousas, and basically it was my great grandmother and her son, aka my grandfather, who ran the business, and then my grandfather married my grandmother, and then they became, people who ran it with my uncles and my father. And matter of fact, speaking of seeing purpose, like, growing up in a family with a funeral home, being able to see how to cope with death at an early age. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you got things that you're uniquely good with, and also looking at situations that life puts you in a lot, or that life, just always had you gravitating towards. That's also signs of what energies you're good or unique at, or energies that you should be like the universe saying, hey, even though you never realized this hidden power in you, hey, you're really great at this. You know what I'm saying? And they've been hinting like, so somebody out, say for instance, you're good at ping pong without knowing it. I know it's way left field, but like you're good at ping pong without knowing it. And like for some reason, like at some points of your life, it just never goes a period too long where somebody, like, say for instance, like it never goes a long period without somebody like trying to like get you to play ping pong. Like it's like somebody always like, hey man, like you want to play ping pong, or somebody always like, yeah, you should try ping pong. Or like, you ever thought about ping, like, and then you have to sit there, and that's what being conscious, because when you all in your mind, all this, you're not paying attention to this. You thinking about stressing out behind the bill you gotta pay, and stressing out behind your spiritual growth instead of being one with your spiritual growth. Like you're not realizing this, but that go me with all that trying to put too much words into it. It'll come back. But it'll come back to me. It is what it is. Matter of fact, that be that vibe of just like when I get into some of those speaking modes too, I feel like I'm becoming a little bit less grounded. Matter of fact, that's why like these long-winded videos, I try to hold on to some hematite to stay pretty grounded while I'm, dealing with speaking on this information. No, that is not the good weed. It is the good smoke. Smoking is what causes, if you want to say something that's causing damage, it is the act of smoking. You could be smoking crystal quartz. The fact that you're smoking is harmful, regardless if crystal quartz is good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the act of smoking. Like never, we get into a place of being like 100% real about our reality. And the reality of smoking is that it's not the herb plant. The herb plant is great for us. It heals us on so many types of levels. It's just that smoking that disconnects. I digress. Peace from Texas. God so shown blessings. But yeah. Yeah, man, I forgot where I was. 'Cause I know I was going to a place that was keying in on something very important. As much as I say it was very important, if it dropped out of my psyche, it was for a reason. Which the reason though may be just to show me like, hey, you need to get back on your Ginkgo below, but like tightening up in other areas. That's another thing too. As you become so just like a machinery, like if you trying to do more on your computer, like say for instance, if I'm trying to tap in to so I got like a little small computer, let's just say, but I'm trying to tap into some energy and some work, that's of a high power, it takes a high capacity of energy. I'm gonna need more RAM and more memory on my hard drive. You know what I'm saying? I have to up. So again, with me getting back to expanding on a lot of this information, I gotta start making sure my computer, I'm adding the right pieces to my computer so my memory could be up to par. You know what I'm saying? Adding the right RAM, which in this case the RAM would be like Ginkgo biloba intake. Ginkgo biloba and Gatu Cola or Gatu Kala, however you want to say it. But those two are great for the memory. Maybe that's why it's time for me to get back on those. And somebody just ain't that's some synchronicity on that Jamaica. Somebody just spoke to that. I mean, if Ethiopia no longer has a herb, then yes, because Ethiopia is like matter of fact, that's where the two strands, where three strands of natural herb came from. Two strands from Africa, one from Jamaica. So you had the Cali lamb spread in Jamaica. You have the Durban poison or South African Durban poison in South Africa. Then you have the Ethiopian Highland. You know what I'm saying? Those are like the top three most potent natural land. You know what I'm saying? Everything outside of that is something that somebody either in-house making or vibing with on some type of level, in that nature. Against. I don't get. I think your idea is trying to head in the right place, but you know, we definitely don't want to be speaking and acting and walking the same and talk. The reason why we came down into this experience things different because it got boring and it became, a place where we stop evolving because we're always doing the same shit, acting the same way. Like just basically like bruh, I wish I could do a cartoon. I like to hook up with somebody who's a cartoonist and get them to do a cartoon of how the world was like when everything was just perfectly one in essence. Just to give people a perspective of why we ask for this diversity. If you start to see how boring and how like being without that chaos, basically stopped the, basically didn't allow for evolution. Like we just one plain ass being, and we could say plain. I'm saying plain for the fact of like, well, it's just all one, so it's all just whatever. Just one feeling, one vibe, one everything, and nothing ever changes for all eternity. Nothing never changes for all eternity. Nothing never changes for all eternity because everything is so perfect and the same all the time, always. That could get a little boring. I could see how somebody would want to ask and question that perfection. Well, yeah, doing anything but smoke, like, so putting it in teas and vaporizing it, yeah, that those are the more healthier avenues of dealing with your herb. And honestly, you could still tap in and still be connected with your herb. This is just flowing. this is flowing from a comment that somebody made about me forgetting something in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So so say for instance, out of all the things, like it just stopped my short-term memory. It ain't like smoking the herb is like killing my entire being, and I'm like dying inside because because I'm smoking herb. Like it's not like that. But yeah, you definitely want to partake in it in a much healthier manner. Oh, this is just a wooden mala, matter of fact, from Lake Shrine. So, matter of fact, if you're familiar with the book Paramahansa, matter of fact, that's kind of like my Uniquness story, like of reading the book Autobiography of a Yogi, and then actually getting out here in California and going to Lake Shrine, where that's also in that book, because that's the spot that Paramahansa Yogananda had set up when he was in LA. But I got this from over there. It's basically sandalwood beads, and sandalwood carries a certain vibration, certain earthy, calming, subtle, meditative, connective vibe. So vibing with it like that. That's basically it. Again, stepping into the soul purpose, all those little unique things, those things that you're uniquely good at, you know what I'm saying? It's time to step into those places. Like you've been getting clues throughout your whole life, in essence, of what you're uniquely great at, you know what I'm saying, and what you should be working in. Again, like I always use the analogy of the potluck, if we this universal potluck, if you're good at bringing the French fries, it's your job to bring it. It's not the person who good at making cakes to bring the French fries. No, they good at making cakes, and let them bring the fucking cakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good at doing this, then you do, you know what I'm saying? Like, and things, you'll see things fall into order compared to somebody who should be a janitor. Funny, facetious, somebody who should be a janitor being a politician and trying to govern people. You know what I'm saying? Then you get a world that's all out of whack when people are not really dealing with their sole purpose. Some people on this earthly plane are not dealing with things and what they're meant for. Some people are naturally not carrying a royal vibration in essence, but yet put trying to be in these positions of being royal or of being governing over people and things of this nature. But that's their true nature is not really well, in essence it is, though. You think about it, if you think about it, true nature is to be manipulative, and that's what they're doing. So I digress. On that level, but yeah, the Autobiography of a Yogi definitely is a great book. Yeah, because at the end of the day, yes, we are all just light ideas. Like, that's why when you really get deep into it, with all, like, the people who start to get deep into information, you start to realize, like all that black and white and this and that, you start to fall away from it a lot more when you realize, bro, we are just physical manifestations of a certain conscious idea or thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, even down to where what I'm wearing. The vibration precedes the manifestation. I wear these clothes and carry myself in the essence of the vibration that's going on in consciousness. It vibrates within my consciousness first and foremost, and you see it expressed through the physical as me as a, human being, something on this physical plane, you know what I'm saying, that's displaying one of the many aspects of the many different vibrations of the whole source, you know what I'm saying. I'm one of those little, you know, those little unique, you know what I'm saying, and I done had that that vibe of like, we just all that unique different personalities of source in essence. And we're all different little unique archetypes of source. But I'm about to be out, y'all. Enjoying these fix. But peace and blessings, y'all. And again, you know, if you resonate with the information, if this information help you in any way, form, or fashion, feel free to send a donation. Donation link is under mostly all videos. And again, if y'all didn't hear earlier, I would rather not get the super chat. Like, of course, if it's better for you or whatever the case may be with the super chat donations is cool. But get it sent to my PayPal donation link. And if you feel that anybody that resonate or would resonate with these videos, or it's time for that person to grow, or somebody feel free to share the videos, on whatever platform, whatever form of fashion, of course, in a way that's not slandering and throwing off the energy, but definitely. Yeah, that's basically it. And thank y'all for all the love and support again, you know what I'm saying? It's always greatly appreciated. That love and support is the reason why I'm here, at 17,000 subscribers, 800 and something videos in, is because after making those first few videos, that the first people or persons to be like, man, I like your videos, man. I'm loving the information. Like, when I had about 100 subscribers or like 40 subscribers, and videos only getting 20 views, like it started from there, and that energy is what kept it going. So much love and blessings, man, to all y'all, definitely. And again, happy now. Now is to vibrate, not going too far in the future, not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace.